So took a walk today, about like a 2 hour walk to get this beer. What to do with people with these funky attitudes, man? So talk about the good and the bad. Good. I mean, well, one guy was like, "Yo, man, I wish you peace and God bless you." I was like the best. He was like the best person that I met today. You know, say it in front of everybody. Versus the 3 or 4 people that pretended as though they wanted to run me over. And that's the thing. Like I'm talking about men and women, man. I don't see no men. Well, I ain't gonna say I don't see no man here, but I don't expect to see men. So the one dude that wished me peace and was like, "God bless you," that's a man to me. That was the man today. Versus the dude who swerved at me, you know, like trying to scare you, you know, or just basically just trying to ruin your day. It's people like that man, I swear, man, it's like, you don't know what you're doing. You're going to want to threaten me with death and use your car as the instrument. That's when it's like when things are going too far, and when you have multiple people like that, then you got to examine the environment. You got to look at the society. You got to look at what's up with these people. And then you see what it is. It's like as long as if you got one person like that, if you got a snake in your house, basically, that's how I look at it. You got a snake in your house, then you're living in a snake pen. It just takes one snake to be roaming around, lurking around somewhere where it just threatens the peace of everybody that lives in that house. And yeah, this place is infected. I'm talking about Lithonia, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, Georgia itself, America, and the world at large, all connected to me. I used to have so much trouble with these people. Why? What? Until I gave them a label like punk. You got a problem? You got something you want to say? Uh, say it to me. I'm here. But to hide behind a car or any object where you're safe. and I'm more or less vulnerable, and you are exploiting that to your advantage, not for only other meaning other than spreading hate. It's like, so you basically, to just to anybody, not just me. This is when nobody walks around here. It's because of people like that. And to me, it's like, hey, people, this is your house, man. This is your home. This is the area that you dwell in, the area that you live in, and you just have to take it as what it is. You live amongst animals, savages. To see this nasty attitude. I mean, you should be put to people who should be put to death for what they do. Basically, just something like that. You should be put to death. The only thing that's sparing these people is this is this plausible deniability. Oh, me? No, I didn't. I didn't know. I wasn't. No, I didn't see. I'll put to death. I mean, I kill the person who's driving that car, the person who issued the license, the whole organization that's behind issuing license. Whoever came up with the idea that this should be a common mode of transportation, all of it. Anything that threatens the peace of one's, it just threatens the peace away. That's why we don't live in a peaceful environment. We live in a hostile environment. People don't feel safe. People don't feel comfortable. People don't feel at ease. No. So those are like the extremes. Like the extreme. So it's my turn to cross. The light says, okay, you can cross. But this lady driving this truck ignores all that, right? So if I was to just be like, I trust the people, I trust the law, I trust the drivers, I'd be a dead man. For this lady just wholeheartedly ignored my presence. And I'm looking at her like, what kind of creature are you? Because at this point in time, she's not a human being. She's not being human. That's for sure. And this is like in the public, broad daylight. Everybody see this, and it doesn't like it is. It's not an offense against me. It's an offense against everybody who witnesses. How many people were there? How many people were present? How many people were around? Like probably over 1,000. This is at like a major street, major intersection and stuff like this. Is the protocol. This is the norm that you see, and you will see people like this who just have this this nastiness, and it's just like that's it. We just feel with a bunch of people with nasty attitudes, and we don't know what to do with it. So one is like we gotta start talking about it. This is ugly. We just live with ugly people, basically. How what to do with ugly people? That's kind of what the contention rests at. What to do with ugly people who stink? Like, how do we deal with these funky attitudes? So with this lady, the only thing you could do is just hold you like you can't hold your breath or just like if something smell, just like don't inhale it. Just let this person go by, man. Then I'm crossing another street and another car come flying damn near towards me. At like man, it was like at 60 miles an hour, and then turn at the last minute, like while I'm walking. But you could say that was almost worse than the lady who was at the stop sign, because with her I could see her, but with this person I couldn't really make out. But both of them just this nastiness, this gross. It's like, who needs this, man? And then who else? Oh yeah, two dudes in the truck wanted to faint like they were gonna run me over. You know, so it's like, oh, well, no, you playing. I guess that's what they look at it like. Okay, you're playing at my expense, at my peace, at the expense of my peace of mind. Now, not doing anything like showboating or anything, but I'm talking about just walking, just crossing the street. I'm talking about like crossing it, like wait, like whether I wait 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whenever it's my turn, so there's no problem. So then when it's my turn, you know, and then you can see them like laugh, like oh, try to. So here it's like you got a group of people that it's about trying to scare people, like this. People be riding around with Jason masks on their mirror, on their like rearview mirror, or whatever that mirror is that's in the car. So it's dangling from there, like so you look at that, and that's like one of the main things you see is like yeah, Jason mask. Like, what does that mean, bro? And don't really understand what it is that they are ascribing to, what it is that they are identifying with. You glorifying, killing serial killers, backstabbers. Jason is like just no more than just ultimately a backstabber. Hey, we want to go out in the woods or just to kind of get away, have fun. We're like just doing our thing. The trees don't mind us here, the birds don't mind us here, nothing mind. So who this dude with this damn mask on stabbing people with a machete? Typically when their guard is down. I look at that as a backstabber. Okay, well, so it goes from the dude in the car who's displaying this Jason mask to just Hollywood. What? How was a movie even like that made? Hey, I want to make a movie. What do you want to make? I want to make a movie about this guy who kills innocent people. So The whole film industry is wicked. Bottom line, it's wicked, evil, corrupt, scum, garbage. What about the people that watch those movies? I used to watch it. I mean, Friday 13, man. Out man, Jason coming up. You know, when I was young, I didn't know any better. I just trusted like it's what everybody else doing. I don't know. That's what everybody else talking about. I want to be able to talk. I want to be in. Yeah, I watch Jason too. Yeah, man, I got an opinion about that too. Oh, I say like, wait a minute, because you know, at that time I was in a boy mindset. You know, looking up to men. Like you guys know what's best for me. You know what you know. This is it's just like when you're young, man. Somebody give you a plate. And they say you need to eat everything on that plate, and you do, even the things that don't taste good. And they say this is, you still need to eat it. You know, what do I know? You offer to trust for them for thinking that they, like well, you've been around, you know this and that, your experience, and borrow from your mind, and so you eat what's on that plate. So if America hands this out to people, to its people, you're like, okay, well, I want to eat what they eat. And then you just get to a point where you see it's all poison, garbage. Like we've been feeding filth, garbage, and all this comes from the context of not of tasting what I would say is real love. Yeah, yeah. All this is from the discernment of having tasted real love, and then you taste that which is not, and you say, well, why would anybody want? Well, it's not so simple. Because them, and we can't even say what love is becoming a distant memory. Nobody even knows what it is, man. You can't speak like there's a universal feeling. Like you would think that, like you know what love is, that feeling that you got when when you release. People usually can go back when they were young, and that's when their heart will open. That's when their heart was whole. It wasn't broken. Now, what's love to a broken heart? Because to a broken heart, to those who put their hearts are default closed. It's closed by default. But if it remains closed, then all you're doing is just rotting. You're just rotting away. You're dead. Like you died before your body died. Ain't that something? That you could be dead and your body's still alive? But it shows that you're not your body. And the reverse of that is that when your body dies, you still will be alive. However, maybe gets into a little mysticism, but if I'm not my body, then it stands that whoever I am, or it stands that I should be conducting myself in a way where I want to live forever. Like what I do today, I want it to always be something that will be good in a sense. You know, because if it's just based on your body, then like, it gets into this small mindedness kind of thing. You know? What does my body care about 1,000 years of history that precedes my coming or my awareness or whatever the case? So those were the negatives, and then the positives. Well, the positives, it's gradual. Positive is like gradual. So the negative, what I got from today, is typical. You know, it's typical. I walked that same route 1,000 times, literally. And so I have a base for what normality looks like. Like I know, when I know how to cross a street. You know, bottom line. So when something abnormal happens, like somebody is, doing something like what they did today, I know that it's not me that is like crossing the line. It's that person that's crossing the line. And then from that, from walking that so many times, you start to depict more, you start to see more patterns. So it goes from, okay, well, if I cross this 10 times, I can expect 3 out of those 10 that somebody is going to cross the line. All right. Well, then you could start like just analyzing, like, well, why is that the case? And you start saying a different world opens up of how things are connected. Start seeing patterns, like especially with the young guys, man. Brother, 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 brother. Almost without fail. If you young, black, you know, between the age of like 18 and 30 and you got a car, I can expect no good to come from you. None. That group is scum. It's not to say that everybody in that group is scum, but you gotta realize that you're coming from a group who is scum. I'm talking about scum, man. It's garbage. That's why I can describe it. Like whatever the verse, you give it whatever word you want. I say scum, like the thing that in the kitchen sink and the drain is like if you clean kitchen sink and you seeing all you see that black, that smelly stuff, that's scum to me. And this is what I see from these young guys. Scum. The attitudes and disrespect towards me. Man, I say they do it to everybody because I can't, all I'm doing is just doing something that anybody could do. But scum. And if that is the case, you could be like, okay, well, what does that mean? I'm young and I'm in that group. You got to be aware of that, man. You got to be aware that you're coming from a group where Uh, Other people who are in your group are acting like scum. Just acting like dirt, garbage. So it's gonna be a natural bias, prejudice. Like I don't expect nothing good to come. That's what I'm saying. Like for the young guy, especially if you sagging your pants, I just expect that you are a piece of shit. It's almost like if there was a gang that said we are the piece of shit gang, you know. It's like what do you mean? Like we just shit. You see shit on there, that's us. We're no better than that. You see that dog poop on the street, do you want to step in that? Do you want to be around that? Do you want you want to pick that up and bring it in your home? No, well that's us, brother. Yeah, that's we proud, you know. Like, all right, you want to be a piece of shit? Be a piece of shit, you know. I'm only labeling what I see based on the actions that I see. So if I interact with 10 guys, you know, like, cause you know, these are things that you could tell somebody's age more or less from appearance. You can tell like their race more or less from appearance, or just the color of their skin, whatever. You know, I can tell a black person from a white person, from a Chinese person, or whatever. Um, but the you say, man, I got no words for you, man. Nothing, man. Because to me, it's like you're almost like you're not human, you know. And I ain't trying to say that that's what they want to be, or that you know, guys are stupid, man, until they learn any better. So that's just the box that they're put in, and that's I don't know how they got in that box or whatever, but and it could be like there may be one or two guys who in that category who are cool or I don't know. Hey, F that, man. F that, man. Why would you identify with scum? And it's just really not knowing a man, basically. Not knowing any better. Now, on that same token, I can say I don't have a problem with them now. I used to have a problem with them, but I don't have a problem with them. I understand why they're in that box and where their pain is from. Like on a on a social level of courtesy, they are scum. But they're not the worst. That's for sure. That's more of just because, you know, well, it's like I say, what is scum? It is like the drainage of the you know, so all kind of stuff get poured in that kitchen sink, and the scum is like the residue of all the stuff that's, you know, of the waste, and there's like an accumulation of that. Well, being young and being black, you have access to no power. You are the powerless, and so you get the waste of the people who are in power, and the people who are in power. You know, we just don't they're not even out in public. You know, these you know, it's like the young, they could be out in public because you know the sun and everything like that doesn't have a problem with them. But these guys who are in power, I'm talking about, man, they can't be in public. They are like bats or like some creature that is afraid of sunlight. You know, like vampires. Really, they're really like on a level that we can't even really understand. They're like aliens at this point. Like they like you wearing, you know, like it'd be these young guys who, you know, be riding around with these Jason masks on. But I think there was a point in that movie where that nigga took the mask off and it was like, man, put that mask back on, bro. That's who they are. The guys who empower the motherfuckers without that mask. They are truly ugly, truly unsightly. Now, is I'm saying like with the young guys, the young black guys, because I don't really care, man. Like if somebody get offended of something I say and they want to come kill me, like you ain't even gotta, you don't have to like do the whole Jason thing. You could just say, hey man, I want you to die. You know, I want to kill you. So anybody that want to kill me, man, just come talk to me. I mean, I'm not even gonna try to talk my way out of it. It's like, okay, well, you know, if it's gonna be um, quick and painless, you know, hey, if you got the power to do so, shoot, let's get it over with, man. Because I ain't trying to make it seem like I'm in control of this body. You know? Like the whole point of me even starting those walks, because I really wanted, like, just sitting in a room not having no one to talk to is to me like death. So hey, what else we got? We got this internet. We got YouTube. So that's the only, you know, Facebook. So that's like our only way of like connecting to the world at large. Well, and that was my whole biggest thing was like, oh man, you know, somebody who watched what I say may get offended and want to kill. I used to they used to be a deterrence of like not wanting to speak, not wanting to talk. But you know, it just goes to show, like on the walk today, man, 4 people wanted to kill me today. They had the opportunity, they had the motive, they just didn't have, you could say, permission. Or in a nutshell, what would they gain from that? You know, I'm driving, man. I ain't trying. Like I'm like cautious of hitting an animal like a squirrel or anything. To hit a speaking a person that can speak, a creature that can speak, man, please. That's why I'd be like, who are you? You like gunning. You want to make it seem like you aiming to kill. Like what, man, nigga? Let's talk, brother. A lot of, man, I used to get in so. That's why I just labeled them as punks. Like you got to be a real punk, or just a punk, man. Just that's why I say scum, scum, man, scum, scum, scum. you got a problem with somebody, let's say if you did want to kill them, okay, well, why hide? It's that's where I'm like, this is a person's life here, and you about to take it, but you're afraid to face them. It's a pump, man. People who don't wanna, you want to get somebody else to do it. So, but to say you want to kill somebody just be off of a whim, like what was you? Why did you even get in your car today? Did you get in your car to run over niggas? Is that was the basis of you drive? That's why you got your license. That's why you learn how to drive. Like, what do you think this Grand Theft Auto? So he's like no respect, and unfortunately, like I say, that's why I say the ones who do this on a, and that just could be for me, because I'm a whatever you think I am, but it may be different experience for somebody else. But the fact that I can only account for what's going on in my reality, what's real with me when I walk the street. I know who I need to look out for. And unfortunately, it's guys who look like me but are younger are the worst. Like, you guys are scum. So it's like the generation before, that's coming after me is just scum. They're made into scum. And there obviously are always exceptions to the rule. There's people who think all black people are scum or whatever. Everybody got their biases. I got mine based on experience. So when I do find guys who are young, black, that actually have a right mind, I'm like, you know, I stay with scum. Just like this lady I stay with, man, scum. Cause she just heard her voice, just triggered something. I'm learning how to live with scum, deal with scum, and like I said, just people who, it's their whole thing is about um, stumping out your joy. You know, so you could be in a good mood, enjoy good spirits and stuff, and then they come and they want to erase that because misery love company. I don't know, but I live with scum, man. That's the bottom line. I'm not proud of it, and I'm not condemning it. I'm just addressing it, and it's getting worse. Because it's like, if this is with these young guys now, we can go into like why they're scum. Like, let's say because the people above them who's supposed to be raising them is, we gotta think of a word that's worse than scum, which it's like wicked or evil or just not human. I don't know what to really, but it used to cause me to be depressed and like suicidal, but I think talking about it helps. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be talking about it versus remaining silent and letting those emotions harbor and build up, and I'm gonna release it, man. I think you're scum, you're scum. I think you're ugly, you're ugly. I think you're nasty, man. That it is. I could be wrong. God help me. That's why I'm always praying to be corrected. But closed mouth don't get fed. If I don't open up and speak about it, I don't think nothing is gonna be done. But waiting on them to change is not gonna do it. It's not gonna cut it. This is for people who are in the same situation, man. You just realize that most likely, especially if you're in America, most likely you are surrounded by scum. And this is don't matter if you're in the hood or especially people who watch television. Like that's where I look at. Like you talking about the sewage. Where's the sewage coming from? The drain line is that television. Man, I can't watch it without wanting to throw up. Like who would eat that shit? It it amazes me. It amazes me that you could look at such. And that's why I know. Like if you watching that, you're scum. You're scum, man. You are completely scum. I'm sorry. Normally I wouldn't want to talk about it because like, oh, what about fuck their sensitivities. When it's life and death, like I'm about to kill myself, like then you like fuck their sensitivities,